Hello! Some of you, if not many of you, might be familiar with this artist named Yuumei or Yuumei Art. That's her handles that she goes by. Her art, their art, her art. For now, I'm going to say her. I do apologize. Fantastic, beautiful, gorgeous. I've been a fan of her art for many years. Recently, she also had a Kickstarter that showcased paper stars and however, this is not her first Kickstarter. In fact, I think I've backed every Kickstarter that she's created, which I mean isn't a big a flex as I think I'm making it out to be, but that's neither here nor there. Her latest Kickstarter before the Galaxy Paper Stars one was actually, in fact, paper koi. These lovely things. I actually started making a video of this 3 years ago. And that's not even to say that's when I got the Kickstarter for that Kickstarter. It's just that's when I sat down and was like, actually, let me put this together. And it has taken this long. That koi fish is actually still at my parents' house. I actually made it when I was in my other place, like I said, 3 years ago, and I brought the other 3 with me, and so I will endeavor to show you the absolute nightmare that I put myself. Honestly, I made all the mistakes. I can admit to that, because there's gotta be, I must have done something in building this, but I'm gonna tell you what, making this particular koi, and listen, I like to pride myself in making good paper crafts, and I can put together IKEA furniture, but putting this guy together, you can already tell, was a challenge. So I'm gonna go ahead and let's just go. Hello, voiceover Allie here. So to preface, this is not a tutorial whatsoever. I will link the proper tutorial in the links below. All that fun stuff. This is just me showing y'all the process in which I went through to make this koi fish. So once you get the basic sort of pattern of how to fit each of the fins and the scales together, it is very, it's intuitive in that way. I will, however, warn you, the video, she does recommend using tweezers, and I will admit there were moments where tweezers could have helped me, and then there were moments where I was like, there's no way, because some of it was so finicky. As you can kind of see here, I am struggling, and this is not the first time. It's a lot of repetitive actions, but again, once you kind of get the flow, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just the biggest challenge is making those little notches fit together. There is a little bit of a struggle. So, but yeah, even adding the little sort of, I guess, dorsal fin they would be called. Those are really easy, really easy to put together. Yeah, those guys just slid right in, but the scales, but yeah, as you can see, very repetitive. Alright guys, as you can see, I am still continuing. We still got a lot more to go, and there it is, the frustration. So yeah, despite these, the scales being pretty dang tough, I guess you could say, they do have a pretty good, they can withstand a little bit of bend and all that stuff. They are still delicate. I do rip it. Not shown here is the tape that I use, even though technically you don't need tape. But I had ripped one of the attachments, trying to get this to fit, and but yeah, once I get it in, it's fine because the next layer of scales kind of help lock it into place. But it is very, very frustrating, and while you can't tell unless you're looking for it, or if you're looking into the fish, which you shouldn't be, you can't tell. So here's the next part of my nightmare, doing the details for the head. This part, though, wasn't too bad. It comes with a bunch of different symbol inserts. You can pick and choose. In the video, she recommends coloring them if you want to kind of help it stand out. I chose a nice little turquoise blue, but I thought it would look nice with the copper tone. And also, please wait for the ink to dry if you do choose to color the little symbols. 'Cause, I got it smeared on my finger and casually had little bits and pieces getting smudged there. That's the only thing you can color. You can also color in the scales. She recommends doing it before you start making the attachments onto the fish, but you can still do it later. I just really liked the colors, and it was a really metallic paper anyways, so. I could not tell you how often I start and stopped and paused and replayed this portion of her tutorial walkthrough. Something just wasn't hitting the first couple of times, and I finally get it, realized I was overthinking it as much of this, honestly, this whole puzzle put together was. It was, a lot of it was just me overthinking. But then there were parts where I was like, oh my god, that will come up in a little bit. What's nice about these kits is that she does include some sort of duplicates, so you can see that there's a duplicate headpiece, there's a duplicate gills piece, and that's really nice to have. I think there's also a couple of extra scales and such that she includes. Alrighty guys, this is where the nightmare starts for me. This is where I think I was reminded why it took me this long to return to making these paper kois. It was a struggle. So the beginning part isn't too bad, building out the scales from the base of the head/gills, and then moving out, you add the fin. I think these are the dorsal fins, right? But basically, adding the fins, all of that is very, very similar to putting the scales onto the main body. It is attaching the head to the body that, oh my god, was so hard. And she does also say that this part of the build is a little bit difficult. So you need a lot of patience. Take breaks, my friends. But yeah, this was also a section where I kept rewatching this portion of the. I don't know, trying to find the proper connection point, even using tweezers, it was really, really difficult. And honestly, rewatching this to do the audio, So yeah, like I said, trauma. So much so, I was so frustrated with this that, as you can see here, I completely changed my desk orientation. Time has passed, and I finally returned to completing this koi fish. I returned with, I think, the same energy that I had when I started the project, and I used that energy to put the fish head to the body together. Whoa. It was tough. I'm not gonna lie. Once I kind of finagled it in, There's a lot of little back and forth trying to fit the scales. It was so satisfying. Hi. I'm trying to do it in such a way where you guys can probably try to see the fish, but like, I'll go ahead and just like, I have the blue one and the black one here, and these are the long-tailed koi. So yeah, the copper koi took me honestly the longest, and I think I was, again, like I mentioned in the video, I was reminded why I put off doing the rest of the koi as a whole. But the white one that I have is like the long-finned kois here. I didn't record this process because it's essentially the same thing, the exact same build process. It's just one has longer fins and the other is short finned. All of them I did add the option to add LED lights and then they can hang, but I kind of want to wait till I get the stars to hang them because I kind of want the koi fish to look like they're swimming through a galaxy before arriving to my little fantasy cove sitting area. That's the dream, at least. All of this to say is that despite its difficulties, I really enjoy doing this. I love, like, it's one of those labor of love kind of things, because by the time I finished making the koi, it was really, really satisfying, and I just sat here and I stared at it, and these guys are pretty sturdy. Like, they can put up they can put up with it. If you want to check out the Kickstarter for her galaxy stars, I know the Kickstarter has ended, but she might have it up somewhere, or she might also have the koi fish on her website, so I will also link all of those in the description below. Another thing I wanted to add is that if I wanted to stick to the schedule, my next posting would be July 4th. However, I will be out of town. I might post that weekend, or I might wait and it'll be a longer video. It's a very different kind of video, so we'll see how that one goes. And then we'll resume the following week. At least that is what I'm holding myself to. Accountability, guys. Otherwise, thank you so much again for sticking around through all of that chaos, and probably, I'm so sorry if I frustrated anybody while you guys watched me struggle through this. If you liked the video, please do all the lovely YouTube algorithm things. You know, the usual stuff. You know the drill. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining, and until the next one, stay awesome, my friends. Bye!